All right, let's jump right into this explainer and deconstruct exactly how we can engineer a digital clock from absolute scratch using Verilog HDL. We glance at digital clocks every single day on our phones, the microwave, our dashboards, but we rarely stop to actually think about the physical hardware and the logic making them tick. So today, we are taking the ultimate maker's journey to uncover exactly how all that works.
We're going to follow the true hardware designer's path today, moving step by step through the digital clock challenge, the rules of time, writing the Verilog logic, testing in the simulator, and finally, visualizing the hardware. So, starting with part 1, the digital clock challenge, and establishing our hardware goal. To get started, we need to clearly lay out our tools. We've got a pretty specific software stack to make this happen. A standard PC and keyboard, naturally. But the real magic goes down inside the Xilinx ISE 14.2 software environment. This whole suite gives us the ISM simulator for testing and the XST tool for synthesis. And the actual language we're using to talk to this software? Verilog HDL. It is the absolute industry standard for describing electronic circuits.
The parameters for our build are beautifully simple. For our inputs, we feed the system an A clock, which is a clock signal beating at exactly a 1 hertz frequency, so 1 cycle per second. We've also got an active high reset switch to just clear the board when needed. Then, for our outputs, we get exactly what you'd expect from a clock: standard seconds, minutes, and hours. It's just a really beautifully closed system. Moving on to part 2, the rules of time, where we translate reality into logic. Okay, before we write a single line of code, we really have to define the physical rules of how a clock behaves. Because computers, well, they have to be explicitly taught how time works. The theory we're outlining is a perfect logic cascade. First, seconds tick up by 1 on every single 1 hertz clock cycle. Second, they keep ticking until they hit that magic number 60, which immediately triggers a reset for the seconds and bumps up the minute by 1. Third, the minutes tick until 60 to trigger an hour. And finally, the hours tick until they reach 24, which triggers a master reset of the whole system right back to 0. It's simple, undeniable logic. Which brings us to part 3, writing the Verilog logic, basically the language of hardware. So to take those cascading rules and actually translate them into code, we rely on something called behavioral modeling. Instead of painstakingly placing individual microscopic logic gates together like some crazy electronic jigsaw puzzle, we use an always block. This lets us describe what the clock should do on every single clock cycle, its behavior, basically, and leaves the heavy lifting of figuring out the actual physical plumbing to the software. Just think about the nested if statements doing this work. We've got our always block triggering on the positive edge of the clock or the negative edge of the reset. When it hits that threshold of 60, sec is set back to 0, and min becomes min plus 1. It is our perfect cascade, just elegantly written out in the language of hardware. Now for part 4, testing in the simulator, where we prove the design actually works. Because writing the code is really only half the battle, right? We have to prove our logic is entirely sound before we even think about touching expensive silicon. Which begs a pretty important question. How can we safely verify that our logic cascades perfectly from 0 to 24 hours without actually manufacturing a microchip first? A mistake in hardware manufacturing is incredibly costly, so we desperately need a sandbox to play in. And that sandbox is a test bench. We literally write a completely separate piece of Verilog code designed purely to test our main code. We instantiate our digital clock, calling it the unit under test, or UUT. We initialize our inputs, wait 100 nanoseconds for a global reset to finish, and then we artificially apply stimulus. We're essentially building a fake digital heart that pumps artificial clock signals directly into our design just to stress test it. What's truly fascinating is the simulation waveform this produces. It visually proves the whole thing works. You can quite literally see the virtual clock ticking away, and corresponding right alongside it, the binary values for seconds, minutes, and hours tracking exactly as they should. Our test bench confirms the logic holds up perfectly. The design is totally solid. And finally, part 5, visualizing the hardware, taking this from code to silicon. This is where we get to see how a software test becomes a real physical architecture. Our source material simply states, quote, later the design is synthesized, obtained gate-level netlist. But synthesis is where the magic truly happens. The XST software takes our behavioral Verilog code, those simple if statements we talked about earlier, and translates them into a gate-level netlist.
You can think of a netlist as the master blueprint. It specifies exactly which physical logic gates and wires are required to build our clock on a physical microchip.
The transformation here is brilliant. We get an RTL, or register transfer level schematic, generated directly by the software. It shows how our simple nested if statements are automatically converted into this incredibly detailed array of physical registers, logic gates, and wiring. This is no longer just math or abstract logic. It is quite literally a map of physical hardware. But we can actually go one level deeper. We get down to a breathtaking technology schematic, illustrating the immense, intricate complexity of the underlying logic units required just to perform the seemingly simple task of counting time. Every one of those tiny blocks and connecting lines represents actual silicon structures that will be etched onto a board. It's absolutely wild to think that a few lines of code spawn this massive labyrinth of circuitry. Which brings us to our final thought. It is incredible to see how a few simple rules of time translate into this sprawling web of physical logic gates. We went from a simple idea to behavioral code to a virtual test, right down to the silicon blueprint. It leaves us with a fascinating question to ponder. If a few lines of basic Verilog can synthesize into something this incredibly complex just to tell the time, what physical realities will you code into existence next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it gave you a brand new appreciation for the hardware ticking away all around us.